This hour of news and views is sponsored by Africa Muslims Agency. Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities for over 35 years. We are 5 days before we head out to the polls to the elections. It's going to be another big one. And as we usually do here on Salam Media, we speak to various political parties for the last 2 months. We've been having various political parties, the independent candidates, and the IEC, everyone that's involved in this democratic process. And up next, we'll be speaking to the only independent candidate hailing out of the Free State, Sesing Ramotswabodi. He'll be joining us in a bit just to give us insight, on his campaign, his ambitions, and also why not join a political party? Why go at this thing independently when traditionally South Africa has been, a democracy that's defined by party politics. And I think he's joining us over the phone. Sesing, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to Salam Media.
Good morning to you and your listeners. Thank you very much for the platform.
I'm not sure if you caught, the latter part of my intro there. Independent candidacy, something that's relatively new in South African, democratical processes, untested, untried. We are a democracy that's defined by party politics. Why did you choose to go about it alone without the backing of a political party like we've always, traditionally have seen?
I've walked that route, the political party route. I've sat in advisory committees. I've worked on election strategies. I've done a lot, and there's only so much one can do if you have a conscience. I mean, you can't watch the system collapse, failing our people, and also just being, having proximity. You get to see things in a different manner. You see how people are living versus how they're supposed to be living. You look at the promises that are made versus what's actually happening on the ground. I'm from the Free State, and 5 key issues in the Free State for me, which made me decide, enough is enough. I mean, when you look at, for example, the collapse of public health, it's shocking what's happening in the Free State. The Free State government is paying this year alone, and these are like completed cases, right? This year alone, the Free State government is paying 5 billion rand in civil claims. Last year, they paid 4.5 billion. I mean, does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to anyone. Anyone with a conscience will know that there's a lot that's happening there at the back. There's no accountability. No one takes responsibility for anything. I mean, there's about almost 3,000 babies that die at Free State hospitals every year. I mean, someone must take responsibility. Someone must, I don't know, someone must go to jail for it. But there's no systems. There's nothing. There are no monitoring evaluation systems just to enhance service delivery for accountability. It makes no sense that someone goes to a hospital and they're told that there's no medication. I mean, how does that happen? Because these things are budgeted for. So when you have a bit of a conscience and, it should kick in and say, listen, no, man, it makes no sense. I mean, look at the water crisis in the Free State. It makes no sense. People outside the Free State, I don't think they understand when people in the Free State say there's no water in the Free State. It literally means that when you run your tap, nothing comes out. And now, for someone that lives in the city, imagine if Johannesburg Water says there's no water for a day. You start seeing the problems in the toilet. You can't cook properly. You can't do your laundry, all that stuff. For people in the Free State, it's permanently like that. Permanently like that. And then you have a situation where they act like they're providing a solution in a form of water trucks, right? Water tanks. But these water tanks, they come. And if, say, for example, you're sitting there with a 25-liter bottle, you can't take 50-liter bottles. You have to take 25 because, remember, when it drives into your street, you have to be mindful of your neighbor, right? So you can't take all the water. So you find that because of levels of unemployment, people don't have money for anything. So you take the water, the 25-liter. If you still need more, you have to go buy water, right? But now for people that are unemployed, sometimes a family is sitting with 50 rand or 20 bucks for the day. They have to choose between buying bread and water. I mean, that's inhumane. It's inhumane. So it's things that I could not stand for, because obviously with the organization that I was in, they speak highly about listening to your conscience. They talk about the renewal program or project, but it's just a slogan. It's
Mm,
literally a slogan. So
mm,
those are some of the reasons that made me go about this thing my way instead of going it the traditional political route. Because we've said in these advisory committees, we've advised, we've done like your research analysis where you speak to the community and find out what their needs are. But the crazy thing is that we all know what the problems are because we live in this province.
mm,
We
mm,
know that there's a housing crisis, right? So why
mm,
would the MEC of COCTA return 600 million back to the National Treasury?
mm.
We know there's a medication problem at government clinics, but why would the MEC of Health return 85 million rand back to the National Treasury? It
Mm.
makes no sense. It's
Mm.
yeah,
Let me jump in a bit there. The
yeah,
problems, I think, with the rest of South Africa and all the individual provinces are so well documented. I think we all know
yeah,
what needs to be done and what's currently not being done. But I think what people are looking for is an alternative to the status quo. What does
yeah.
Sesing bring to the table that 100 and something year old ANC has failed to bring to the people of Free State coming into these elections that are 5 days away from now?
Look, I think individual, and I speak maybe for all individuals. Now we bring accountability. We bring accountability. We're not held up by party politics. We have an unbiased approach. There's no party affiliation. I only account directly to the public, and we actually want to. We want to do this. I mean, this province needs fresh perspectives. It needs people that have a desire to make a difference. So, and also just in general, I just think the province needs new leadership. We need younger people in the systems, because when you look at my province, the Free State, you look at the challenges that we're having. You look at what's happening in Gauteng, what every Campagnaza is doing. It makes no sense, because remember, they use the same rule book, the PMFA, right?
Mm,
They use the same rule book. They use the same, they get money from the same pot, right? Gauteng and Free State has almost similar problems. But why does it seem like things are working out in Gauteng and they're not working in the Free State? So it's a leadership thing. I mean, if for example, like the National Treasury reported that the Free State government owes service providers 1.2 billion rand, right? It's documented. It's 8,000 invoices. It's there on the National Treasury website. Now you come to the end of the financial year, right? MEC of COCTA wants to return 600 million rand. The MEC of Health wants to return 85 million. I mean, that's almost 700 million. Why isn't there coordination? Why doesn't the premier say, guys, wait, no one's returning money. We need that money to fix the water crisis. We need that money
mm,
to pay unpaid invoices. We need that money to remove asbestos roofs. We need that money to ensure that we create employment opportunities for young people. Little
mm.
things like that. But there is no coordination. People are working in silos. I mean,
All right.
if yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, no. We're just running up, out of time a bit. I want to focus now on your ambition. Just lastly, with 5 days before the elections, I'm sure you have targets, you have ambitions. When it's all is said and done, the results are released. Particularly in your province, the Free State. What are your immediate ambitions? And if it does happen, that you are, recruited by another political party that is like the way that you doing things, would you be open to that reality?
Look, I don't know about recruitment, but my immediate target is just to sort out the unemployment issue in the Free State, to fix the water problem, to fix the health problem, to ensure that small businesses get support, but most importantly, to sort out the issue of illegal foreigners in our townships. That's quite important. But as far as being recruited, I don't see that happening unless we are aligned in some particular way. I mean, we get asked all the time as independents that what happens now that you get your seat and time for coalition governments come? I mean, who are you going to work with? And my answer is simple. I'm prepared to work with anyone that's willing to advance the needs of the people of the Free State.
Mm,
I am no longer a member of the ruling party. The ruling party will have to make sense to me. They'll have to give assurances. But at the same time, We know the history of this country. The last time there was a different color leadership, and really we don't want to make this a color thing. We really want to build a country that's inclusive. But those things are there, so whoever makes sense, whoever has, it's not even about positions. Whoever makes sense, whoever has the interest of the people of the Free State best at heart, it's people that we're willing to work with.
All right, perfect. I think we're going to leave it there. Sesing, all the best going into Wednesday, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you after those results are released, just to take stock of how you did there.
No, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
There you go. That was State Sesing Ramotswabodi, the independent candidate. The only independent candidate in the Free State. He's not with a political party. He's doing this by himself. This is a new, thing that has been introduced in our democratic process, where you have independent candidates that can also put their name out in the ballot box, whether it's provincial or it's national. And Sesing they're raising his hand for the Free State province. Really insightful conversation. Great to see young people being involved in politics. That's something that for a very long time we've always been advocating for.
It's a new beginning.